Hi, it's MJ from Lioness Publications. And in this session, this is going to be part two of JD Vance. We're going to be looking at his transits right around the time of July 5th. Now, some of the things I have noted here actually don't happen till next year, so we're going to sort of pass on talking about those. We're just going to concentrate on what's going on right around July. And there are a few other things that are happening right around September timeframe that I also want to mention here. Now, even though it is a very busy chart, and I'm not waving it around, so hopefully people, if you want to look closer, you can enlarge the chart. It seems quite busy, but we're not going to talk about everything in here. We'll come back to this chart at later points and talk about it then. Biggest thing I want to focus on is that we have what's called a yard coming up. And a yard is when you have one planet that is going to be in conjunct to two other ones. So in effect, it sort of looks like a Y with one planet at one point and then two planets at the other point. So it's an inconjunct that it forms to do two planets. And it's a break and adjust, so it usually means it's a definite, impact on your life. I mean, break and adjust are usually quick. They're over with, and then you deal with what it is. Now, he's going to have a yard happening in his chart, and he's not the only one. A lot of people will have something like this happening. But since he's a politician, it's important to note that it can be playing havoc in his life. So one part of that yard is going to be Uranus coming in. So Uranus here, in effect, is something that's beyond your control. It is things that it's Uranus, it's change. It's change that happens quickly. Can be for the good or the bad. In this case, if it's an inconjunct, it's going to be difficult change. May turn out to be good, but it's going to be perceived as being difficult. What is it making a yard to? It's making it over to his Pluto. And the other end is making it over to his Neptune. Now it's making it to Pluto approximately 6/25 of 25. So the 25th of this month. Important. It's making it over to Neptune on 6/17/25, 17th of this month. So this is going to be happening this month. Now, we noted Uranus, change beyond our control. What does Pluto stand for? It's a foundation. So in effect, when you're looking at a natal chart, Pluto is the foundation that you build your life on. It's, in effect, the solid part. So when we have, in effect, Uranus now hitting Pluto in a break and adjust, disruption to the foundations of his life. So this could be quite significant. Now we also have Uranus making that same thing over to Neptune. Now, Neptune is what? Well, Neptune is emotions. It's our hopes and dreams. But it's also psychological issues. And I've held back in all the sessions so far, really delving into these psychological issues. But that's what Neptune sort of starts to bring up. So it's reality, but also, do we have a perception of reality that's real? Is that perception real to us? So it brings in a whole host of other things. So in this case, we now have some type of change that's beyond our control, affecting his, in effect, emotional, maybe stability, in addition to his foundations in his life. And that's going to be happening in this month. Now, this could be, in some cases, is this something sort of like that change in life thing you get at 40? Maybe. But this is significant in happening in his chart in a month where we have so much that might be going on. Now, let's take a look at a few other things here. I want to note Neptune, which is right over here, is also making an angle up to Pluto. What angle? To break and adjust. So in this case, what's Neptune? Neptune, again, is our higher angels, our lower demons, view of the world, our hopes, our dreams. And it's breaking on what? Causing disruptions to his foundation. So could this be that reality comes in and he realizes that his foundations are threatened? Could it be that he has some type of, again, second Neptune angle here, that he has some type of adjustment in the way he's thinking? Okay, well, we'll see. Now, we also have Neptune coming over and making a square to Jupiter. But that's pretty far off. That's going to be next year. What do my notes say here? Around July of 26. So we'll come back to that at an appropriate time. Next, I want to talk about Saturn. Now, Neptune and Saturn are sort of walking along together. They're conjunct. So we have Neptune, dreams, illusions, hopes, Saturn, restrictions, but focus. So maybe it's a time of focus on what's really important, not just done a lot. Could be restrictions, our dreams get broken up. But Saturn in this case is also hitting his Pluto. So in this case, that Saturn hitting his Pluto is going to be on 9/8, right over here. So in September, we have something that's going to be restricting his ability to have a foundation, or it's going to be, in effect, destroying that foundation. So we're not done with that foundation destruction that we had in June. We're going to come back to it. Maybe there's still some pieces left. And in many cases, these things happen because we have to adjust. We have to fix what's broken and sort of go on. So sometimes the planets come around and say, well, you haven't fixed it. I'm just going to break it. So you have to fix it. So we have that happening, and that's at 9/8. So if you come a little bit further here, Neptune, coming back to Neptune for a minute, it's also in conjunct here. And that was at 11/22. Now, that being in conjunct, again, we've got the psychological issues. So we've got a lot of things going on with the foundations of his life happening in June, in October, in November. I want to leave off with one piece, and that is Jupiter here. Jupiter is going to be making an angle to USA's Jupiter, roughly around July 5th. That means opportunities come to the United States. Could be maybe some of the legal issues start getting resolved from the administration. Could be maybe the restrictions, the tariffs, and all that start being readjusted. Whatever the cause, it means it's going to open up the United States, in effect, for more opportunities. But when Jupiter is making that angle to the United States, it's actually opposing J.D. Vance's Jupiter, which means whatever is sort of good for the United States might not be so good for him, or it might be something that he's conflicted about. So this is also a time, this period that I know that the chart is for, to sort of reevaluate what he's doing, what he seems to be talking out about. Because it could be something that's good for the United States he doesn't perceive as being good for him. Now, we'll come back maybe later today with both the solar arc and the progression, because hopefully that'll add a little bit more into the chart readings. Now, I do want to leave off, even though we're seeing a lot here in June, I'm not saying yet that this is something where he's moving into power, because it looks more like he's losing. He's losing his foundation. So I'm hesitant to say that. I'm not seeing really good things like trines, and some conjunctions are good. I'm seeing things that are difficult. But people can get past the difficulties, and sometimes that makes them try harder and focus more. So hope you enjoyed this video, and have a great day. Bye now.